totally pass.
Just twerking.
You're jumping up and down at one point. Yeah. Like, so what's going on?
Felt like I was on a school
Pulled
bus.
out cords out of nowhere. Like, what is this dude doing? Right
It's
now?
the Trulies. Yeah. Sponsors.
Well, you got another shot
What?
to get us sponsored.
Sponsorship by Truly.
Sponsored by Truly. White Claws.
Welcome to the show. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
thanks for coming on all the way over here at
Glad to be
Well,
here.
welcome.
I wish we could have warmed up. You know, I've never been on a podcast before, so I'm a little nervous.
Welcome to the house vibe scene.
Yeah, house vibe.
Thanks for joining us today. And what's going on, fam? Welcome to Eat My Assets, episode
13.
13.
Ooh.
Ooh, maybe that's why our camera stopped, because 13.
Oh,
Isn't
number?
that just for floors, though?
I thought it was.
No, like Friday.
You know what? I
Oh,
live.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
I
Nice
live
save.
in apartment 13 as well.
I'm on the 13th floor for mine.
Oh,
Are you
shit.
really?
I
I
was
thought they
told-
usually take off the 13th floor.
They do on cruise ships. In my apartment, they didn't. But then I was told that Italians, apparently 13's like good luck, so I'm all for 13, yeah.
Well, great. Then we love 13.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
never mind.
We love it.
13's
Very
great.
nice, very nice.
I don't know what happened here.
Very
I
nice.
like. Yeah.
You know,
like
no.
my one friend looked at me and he goes, "That was actually kind of funny." I'm like, "Thanks,
like-
yo." And then I'm like,
Wait.
"Wait, what do you mean actually kind of funny?"
I don't think there's anything wrong with laughing at your own joke too.
At all. Because like in the end,
So
a
you're just
joke.
confident about what you said.
Yep.
Exactly.
And if you make yourself laugh, like it's just like you shouldn't care what other people think. If you make yourself laugh, and no one laughs. Who gives a f-? Like you got the
It's
most
true.
enjoyment out of it.
You're going to only be with yourself for the rest of your life. You got to make yourself laugh.
It's
know-
funnier to me because I know he believes it.
I'm being dead serious.
No, but like, I mean, like to a core to
oh,
him.
yes,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll keep
definitely.
ripping as long as I laugh. I'll have schizophrenia and
true.
have a great time alone one day.
How often have you talked about your finances as of late? Do you talk with friends, with family? Like, how does that work?
I share with my family because, you know, they're kind of involved in my journey. I don't like to share it with people or friends because, like, you know, it's just like some people feel entitled, and they'll kind of like, I don't know. It's like I have friends that I chill with that want me to succeed. They're proud of me. And it's like those are the friends that I want to financially take care of. You know, I'll go out and get drinks from. It's like it's on me. But then it's like, the other crowd that's like, oh, this guy's doing this. He put in all this effort. And he's making this. Like, let me just try to mooch a drink off of him. And it's like, hold up. Like, I'm aware of like
Does that
what's
happen to you?
yeah, a lot.
This guy's a
lot.
celebrity.
These are shit people.
Yeah, when I go
Shit,
out,
Steve the Fourth.
it's like
Yeah.
so. One of my main motives in like why I'm so ambitious and want to get money, I don't like materialism is a big factor because it's like I want to have a nice apartment that I live in. I don't care about a car, but I don't want to have to stress about my bills and stuff. So like that's like one motive that I grind. The other one is like I have so many like genuine friends and family that I do love and I want to take care of them and I know they're struggling and it's like my motive right now is to get that dream job where I can put them on. I don't want them to stress.
Ideal dream job. Is that where you're at right now? What are you doing right now?
Definitely not at my ideal job. Actually got laid off 2 weeks ago. It was out of kind of a big shock factor as a founding engineer on this team, kind of helped structure this whole community, taught everyone everything. So it was definitely a blind side and demoralizing, but I do believe in karma. I know that they're going to get their way. And it kind of just opened the door.
They're gonna get theirs.
Yeah, no, it's coming.
in a bad way.
On Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that would be insane. So I feel like it was a blessing in disguise. When I was updating my resume, I noticed that normally a year and a half is when I balance jobs. And like, coincidentally, this layoff happened at a year and a half. So,
What was your role and how much did you make?
so I was a senior full stack developer plus blockchain engineer, slash
Sprinkle this.
NFT
sprinkle that.
strategizing. So I handled the community management, the marketing, the strategy behind the project we did. Just kind of like had an overall impact on everything.
So everything.
Full
I
stack,
basically
everything.
did everything.
So they were paying me $160 with a $10K signing bonus, which is like pretty low for my experience as an engineer on top of multiple roles. But excuse me, where's
Truly, it's come back.
That's true.
Jesus.
Before you got there, previous jobs, what did that look like from like a title and how much you're making perspective, just so they could
Sure.
see
Yeah.
the growth trajectory?
Cool. Yeah, so when I was in college, specifically junior, so like 2017, I got an Amazon internship as a software engineer. I wasn't paid the full salary, but based off of the rate that I was getting, it was essentially $91K a year. I was like 20. I'm like twisting my nipples, like thinking this is a dream
91 for an internship.
at 20. Yeah.
It'd be like
At,
your full-time salary is
Oh my
91K.
God.
You're like automatic, like a fat leap ahead of the average starting, and like it just makes you realize like how screwed up everything is. But after that, my first job out of college was at Bank of America. I was making 138K there. So
How
it's
come you
worth,
didn't go to Amazon? You just didn't decide?
yeah, didn't receive a return offer. It was actually crazy. I was working specifically.
I'm not allowed.
No, we're not. We're-
It's all
I
good.
just sometimes I laugh at Mike.
I'm laughing with Aranza.
Yeah.
So Aranza might be
Yeah.
laughing at you, but I'm laughing with Aranza.
I shouldn't just go fuck
Just to
myself.
clear the record, yeah. It's her
No,
fault.
I'm really nice. Sometimes it's just like you say something, then I have my own personal thought about something else, and then I just start laughing.
It's all good.
Don't mind me over here.
Wait, I forgot the question.
Sorry.
Yeah, you didn't get a return offer from Amazon.
Okay, yes. Didn't get a return offer. Specifically, and this is what's cool, is like as a back-end engineer, which is what I've primarily been doing, like you literally look at logs and just like, like a terminal of output, and it's like, okay, my shit's working. It sucks ass, right? At Amazon, what was cool is I was doing back-end engineering on the Alexa. So this was like right when it came out. Yeah, and what they had me do is build a skill for it. So, like, for example, you have, like, Alexa, give me the weather. It was, like, one that I made was, Alexa, find my iPhone. So I used, like, an iCloud API, connected it to find my iPhone, and it would make that noise when you lost your phone. It's pretty cool.
Is that being used
Wait,
right
you
now?
did that?
Is it a
No,
widely
Alexa
known
doesn't
feature?
do it. Like, that's the thing is it doesn't.
iPhone does that. Wait,
Yeah, iPhone does, but I made it so the Alexa can activate it and then find your phone.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so
I
if you
was
lose
like-
your phone, it's like, Alexa, where's my phone? And it'll start ringing.
I
I'm
would
like,
I would need
yeah.
that.
And
Except I
little
never use Alexa. It's
I
like
mean,
the
I don't
only-
have one, but I would need that.
I
if
could
had
see it
one.
as being maybe useful,
Yeah,
but
you lose your phone, you ask Alexa, you'll find it. No matter where it is, it'll make a forced noise, even if it's on silent.
did people ever use it, or did your shit get
No,
shut
never
down?
went. Yeah, went shut down.
Wait,
no
why?
offer.
That's such a good idea.
That's what I'm saying. Everything happens
Come
for
on,
a reason. Yeah.
Amazon.
Instead, they can keep programming these stupid ass puns on the Alexa. I'll do something better.
You're doing the real work.
Yeah,
Everyone else is
yeah.
doing.
But yeah, anyway, so I went from Amazon to Bank of America, and then after Bank of America, after a year and a half, I kind of like to bounce jobs because it's like you have more experience, you have more confidence, you can definitely negotiate a higher salary. So I used the same headhunting corporation, whatever. Shout out Mitchell Martin, Dan Pauly, you're a beast. Changed my life and put me on this ambitious career path. I'll never forget you. But Dan essentially got me an interview with Morgan Stanley. I was 23 at the time. The offer was 198K.
That's amazing.
Damn.
Insane. It's highly
great.
worth noting. So to all you engineers out there, right?
He's getting ready. He's getting adjusted.
You may
This is his territory
yeah,
now.
you grow up and you're like,
Yeah, Mike, go sit over there.
yeah, honestly, I need this whole thing. But to all you engineers out there, right? You grow up and you hear all these great things about Google and Facebook, and it's like, yes, if you want to study algorithms, data structures, and you want to be that guy, that's a great career. But if you want to be like me and go out and socialize and network and have a normal lifestyle that's not like too much, I highly recommend you go down the contracting route and you start at like a financial tech bank. So, for example, Bank of America was 138K. It was 21. Second job, 23, 198K. It's like if you go that route, the interviews are a lot easier. Yes, there's data structures and algorithms, but I can promise you you're not doing like DFS on a graph to accumulate how many stops a train's going.
Doesn't working at a bank suck, though? Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
Is there an average term for contracting? Like, is average 6 months or 12 months or?
So it depends what they specialize. I think the company that I went through for the career was 12 months minimum.
Okay.
And
Can
they
you make that contract more dependent on their needs? Or
maybe when it concludes, and they actually wanted to give me a full-time offer at the end, which should have been an upgrade. I wouldn't have taken it if it wasn't an upgrade.
The current job that you ended up taking around the 198K mark, which is a lot of money, by the way.
Insane. I didn't
At
know what to do
23.
with it.
But it's always interesting to hear stuff like that because you hear all these success stories about, oh, I'm making $250K at Facebook. Here's my life in Google making
Yeah.
300K as a TPM. And
Talking about the TikTok
I love
people.
that. He's about to get
Come with me
attacked.
to my job at Instagram.
Watch
Yeah.
me get pegged at Google.
they're 22, 23, and it's crazy, right? Because a lot of computer engineers that I graduated with, where their first job out of college was like 65K in a random town in Pennsylvania or New Jersey.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's insane.
Yeah,
That's-
writing in C++, which is like it's one of the most difficult
oh my
languages.
God.
If
that
I
you learn.
can add something that is very important that I learned is, it's hard if you're in like Central America, like not the country, but like Central North America.
I was gonna be
but,
like,
like-
where are we going?
For the East Coast family, you want to get that job in a highly populated town. So if East Coast, for example, you want New York or like Miami, right?
Boston?
New York, yeah.
Does that
Well,
count?
yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's
they
just,
have
you know,
they have a
Yeah,
bunch of tech jobs over there.
I'm a code guy, not a
Yeah.
geography. But it's like New York would pay an extra 20 to 30K compared to New Jersey. And, you guys are aware, but you can live in a city that is very cost efficient, get a 30-minute commute, and make an extra 30K if you commute to Manhattan.
Yeah.
And that's what one blessing out of COVID is that for engineers, companies realize that they're spending a lot of money on rent, and we don't need these nerds in office. So, like, literally, like, everyone's about COVID, and I'm like, I love this
It's
shit.
so funny how he
I'm
talks about other
bumping Freddie's.
engineers.
It's like my people.
But like,
Fuck these people.
now that you're remote, it's like, if I got a remote job in New Jersey, I'll make, let's say 100. I get a remote job in New York, I'm making 140. I don't have to leave my crib. You do the math. What do you want?
Well, there is different. Like, I think, even with tax implications aside, it's a feeling that you make more money in New York regardless.
Yeah. It's like a Viagra.
New
Yeah.
York is in
Just
this
looked
case.
at me for that.
No, just like just the cross-state income. It's like even if the taxes balance out where you're making the same as New Jersey, it's the feeling of like telling that prestigious family member, like, yeah, I'm making 148, or
I
whatever.
mean, that's
it
like
is.
great. To be making six figures is not an easy
Yeah.
thing, and we probably have statistics. Ron's, actually, can we pull this up?
Sure.
I wonder if ChatGPT has a mobile app. Yep, not yet. But you can just probably look it up on Google.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Which is
I
what
don't
I've
know why
learned.
GP. It's so stupid.
I don't know. It should be.
B
It should
is
be
so much-
B.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so I
Filipino, so I
re-edited it.
pronounce like P and B pretty close.
Really?
Yeah,
I never
but-
noticed
What am I
that.
looking
Yeah.
at?
Me Filipino.
Filipino. Filipino.
Can you look up average? That's my fucking people, dude. Don't be making fun.
Yeah, what
No,
do
I'm
you
laughing
do?
at you. I'm laughing at you.
I don't know, dude. It's my
I got
people.
He's
some
laughing
VAs
with
over
you,
there.
he's
You're getting
laughing.
real close.
I got my VAs.
Yeah, you got. You're teetering on the edge, yeah. Can you look up average salary of 23 or a student out of college?
Yeah.
Just in general.
Maybe add
In-
software engineering because I am curious too.
Oh yeah, software engineering.
In New York or in the country?
I guess
I'll
do
do
country,
both.
do
Do
country,
average.
yeah,
Okay.
country.
Because then it reinforces work in New York remote. Even if you're in Kansas, you'll make a bag.
My friend was asking me about this earlier. I got to double check if you work fully remote, the tax implications if the company is headquartered in like New York City, if you're not paying New York tax.
No, you do pay. Sorry, you do pay both taxes, right?
The average salary, there's like a couple different that it says, but in the United States, 66 to 130. Average, it says 122, but then it says that average comes from an entry level position of 99. But then it says
What does
now
that
it's
even mean?
66.
I don't know what you're saying.
Of a software engineer in the U.S.
You're saying a bunch of numbers that I have no idea.
Do
what you're talking
do a college graduate.
I typed in entry level.
I would specify
about. So
college.
they
'cause,
didn't
like,
they didn't give you one number of like entry level software engineer.
I typed in what's the average.
yeah, do
No, that
like
should be,
what's
that should be right.
what's
yeah, I
that?
would've typed in
What's
same.
the entry level software engineering average salary in the
Salary.
United States? Because
Yeah.
that could be including, I don't know, maybe Dubai pays a bag.
That's a lot to type with the one finger, but
It's okay. I've involved my.
Also, big tip. Thank you, Ronsa. Glassdoor, I use every job interview. You get an interview, you look that shit up on Glassdoor. There's some employees that get pissed because they don't know their shit, so they'll post every interview question that they got that they failed. And
That's
it's literally
true.
a part of
That
my
is true.
ritual for
That's
a
true.
job is I'll look them up on Glassdoor, make some fake ass account, go through, and I'll record every question they were asked by that company, and then spend like a day or two actually banging out the answers and learning it. And that is exactly what I did from Bank of America to get my first job at 138K. It's
That
like
makes sense.
you pretty much get insider info. You don't tell them that, and they're just like, you really are him. You know, you're that guy.
We do ask the same questions because we need some consistency between these different candidates. Like I do a ton of interviews, it's the same way. So I mean that makes
Definitely review your
a ton of
Glassdoor,
sense, yeah.
and it's like if you see
It
that
says
shit
that.
there, mix it up.
yeah.
It says the estimated total pay for entry-level software engineer is $99,466 per year.
That's
But
crazy.
the salary is $85,130 per year. I'm pretty sure
Like
there's
base.
just
So
like a
talking about
donut.
stock options
That's-
or
Yeah.
bonus
Yeah.
or whatnot, which
And
is,
that should be
seems
fair.
high.
No, that should be how it is. But it's like there's companies that lowball you. Like I mentioned, like they'll make you feel like you don't deserve 80K and they'll offer like 65. But it's like that. Like they want
Yeah.
someone weak mental wise to accept that, and it's like you can get that salary.
I wonder though if people, it's kind of like Yelp, where people that aren't maybe it's the opposite of Yelp effect. People that are really happy are reporting in Glassdoor right now, but the people that are not happy are not reporting in
100.
Glassdoor.
I mean, yeah.
Because like I was telling you, I had a lot of friends coming out of college, software engineering, 65K, like a lot of
Yeah.
them.
That was my first offer. It was 66, and I'm looking. I'm
Which
like,
is
Yeah, which is
insane.
can't even-
for
I
I
software
can't even wipe my
engineering.
ass with like 4-ply with
People
that salary.
people then see that and they're like,
Exactly. I think
which
it's
is, like,
because what
really
you were
misleading.
saying before, like there's more people getting into it, maybe. So now they think they can lower the salary.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah. I
don't know.
inflation naturally happening.
that's wild. Well, without the job now, I know you're looking for a couple of jobs coming up here, but how are you currently even just budgeting your money?
Great question. So I'm actually not budgeting at all. Absolutely nothing.
Great question. None of that.
Absolutely nothing has
It's not my
changed.
thing.
It's worth noting that I'm on severance till the end of March. So technically I'm going to get paid. I have 2 pending offers right now. So I'm not like stressed, you know. I never
You're on
re-
vacation.
and that's the thing is I never go on vacation. I grind so hard that like I literally never go on vacation. I haven't been on one in 3 years. So it's like
You haven't
now
been on vacation in 3 years, bro.
yeah, it's sad.
Gotta get you on a.
It's
airplane.
sad. It's like, you know, the
You've been in a bunch just the past year.
I know.
it's like the pessimistic mentality is like, damn, this guy hasn't left New Jersey in a while. But the flip side is like I made something of myself and I climbed. So it's like, yes, I'm missing out on traveling, but I at least like am happy with where I am career wise. And like, you know, hopefully I'll get a mill in a few years and then I'm traveling all the time where it's like I'll make up for it.
So you're spending like you originally, like if you had a job. You're spending money right now if you had a job.
Yeah, so I'll just be transparent. I don't mind. And to those watching, this is not like an ego thing, just transparency. My rent currently is $3,400 a month. So I was like shaking when I found out I got laid off. Utilities, internet's probably a bonus like $200. I don't have a car. And then on top of that, my money goes towards Brooklyn Mirage and alcohol.
Yeah,
and,
that's well.
you know,
Relatable.
Taco
My
Bell.
language.
Taco yum. Taco Bell after the Mirage.
Insane. Yeah, I could
Yeah,
probably go
no.
right back after. But yeah, I haven't been budgeting. I wouldn't say, you know, it's definitely not the smartest advice, but I'm a software engineer where I'm confident that I can just get a job. Like what I did is pretty much my most previous job was in Web3. It's like the whole crypto space, but the whole concept of it is it's fully decentralized and like nobody can make a name for themselves or a company can make a name for themselves and get self-funding without having to go through seed rounds and stuff.
You're just spending. So a typical. What do you think in a typical month? How much you're spending on?
Oh man, I'm gonna be.
You talked about the
upset,
rent and
you
whatnot,
know.
groceries. But if you were to give a total of like how much is just gone out the window, just from living, how much do you spend per month on that?
I'm like, you're about to get me depressed, man. I'm like very generous with my spending. It's like I can still go out and take care of my friends and come home and still save above $1,000. So like when I go out, I'm kind of just like reckless because like the people that are there that support me, I want to like give back in a way. And it's like I know that you're grinding to get up to like that high salary range, so I just like feel the initiative to like want to take care of them. So
Yeah.
in terms of monthly spending, I'd say around like maybe almost $6K a month on everything, including food, drinks.
That's
Uber Eats, if you want to
understandable.
sponsor me, that would be great.
It's because your rent is $3,400, which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's like
too.
half, and then
Yeah, that's a
I'd
lot.
say
Oh,
every
that's including rent.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable.
and then
Yeah,
every
that's
weekend
understandable.
it's probably like every night out it's probably like 100 to 150 I spend like
Easily.
Friday, Saturday, and you figure 4 weeks in a month it just adds up, and then
Yeah.
that's
4
excluding
days a
me
week.
just like that's excluding me just like late night just like on Amazon getting fired up at
True.
4 a.m. ordering shit. Plus I have my cat too, and he's like I love him, but he's a
It's high
coincidental
maintenance.
bougie ass cat. It's crazy, but I love him. He's like a roommate. But yeah, so like I spend like probably like 200 to 300 a month on the cat alone. It's like
I feel that with
ridiculous.
my pupper too.
I just got him the litter robot 4. It's fucking. It's,
Oh,
it's
your
essentially.
dog's kind of bougie.
My
She
dog
only
is
eats
bougie.
that
Raw
healthy
food.
food
Good.
in the
Yeah.
bag.
It comes in a box like
It's worth it, man. It's
this
worth
big.
It.
That's
Yeah.
fucking sucks, dude. She
I
doesn't
ju-
eat anything else. She's
Yeah.
like, I refuse.
That's what matters though, because if the roles were reversed, I'd be fucking pissed. If I
Yeah,
put my
that's
cat
true.
in.
That's true.
Reverse.
But yeah, just
Very true.
I caught my cat the litter robot 4, and it's pretty much like a bidet for cats. Yeah, this thing's f***ing crazy. It's like if someone's on the toilet and I'm having a pregame, like they can realistically use this thing. There's a $700 litter box. It's a smart litter box. It's like your cat's weighing this much. His shit was this heavy, and pretty much like it pays attention to when he's in the litter box and whatnot, and then it'll spin and scoop his shit for me.
This is the kind of shit that engineers just love to buy.
Honestly, I wouldn't have bought it for that price, but I had the credit card points. I'm like, "Fuck it, it's like my vacation." So I just
That seems on brand.
That's
Yeah.
so random. So with the job that you were making prior, well, the last job, what was it, 168K?
that was 160 and then
Oh,
a
160.
10K signing. So like for the first year it was essentially 170.
What were you making per month on the paychecks, like post-tax? How much are
So
you raking in?
my parents are gonna roast me for this. So I have a different mentality. And don't take this advice at all. You use a 401k. You save for your retirement. My mentality with this job was I had a fat come up in NFTs. I'm not saving in a 401k for while I'm working here because I had the equity. I was like, expecting the dream. But I think I was making about like $9,600 a month. And, at my previous jobs, they were deducting 15% for the 401k, but it allowed me to, save and still like live that life.
Oh, yeah,
Also,
no, no.
those the Supreme Air Maxes right there.
Those are.
Nice copy.
I don't really like them, honestly. They're.
No, they look like shit and like
Wait,
black.
what are they? Where?
Right there, the third rack, the red and white, like
Oh, I
they literally
see
look
those,
like you're going
yeah.
to like a retro arcade.
He was like, "Are those things?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Nice. I hate those. Those are the worst."
I'm gonna remain neutral.
Yeah. But we are curious though, because we ask people this a lot. In our last guest, y'all should check it out. Had a really good tip on the saving structure.
And the tiers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that.
So you have a delta from what you. But this is prior. Now you're just down the whole 6,000 every month till you get a job. But when you had the job, you probably had like the 3,600 that you could use to do as play money, whether you want to save, invest, and whatnot. Like, what did you do with that money?
Yeah, so hearing that makes me realize that I definitely didn't have that delta because I would try to I forgot what it was, but there's like a percentage of your income that you should save every month. I remember at Bank of America I tried to do, or not every month, but every paycheck. So
It's like 20% is what people say.
yeah, like
right?
Bank of America was 138 and I was saving 800 a month. Then Morgan Stanley I would try to go up, but like honestly, this most recent job I'd say it ranges from 800 to 1,200, but like I've just been enjoying myself, My brother and I are very different. He's a big grinder. He has a lot of money saved. He's waiting to buy that dream crib, and he doesn't feel the need to go out and experience things. He's okay with saving, but I'm on the flip side. I'm like, if I die in a month, what the fuck did I work for, right? So it's like my mentality is when I go out, I want to make sure my friends and I are happy and thriving, and it's like just kind of like very generous with where my spending goes, where I'd say my delta is probably like 2K every month, and then out of that 2K I'm saving 1,200 best case scenario, and then maybe I'll buy some shit on Amazon.
See, that's that conversation right there. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be very much on the side of the whole long-term saving, and you're dumb if you're not doing it. Long-term investing and long-term saving. And as I got older, I started to understand that stance way more too. I'm like,
embracing like the present experience.
we're only in New York once.
It's so
We're in
important.
our 20s once.
So important, man.
Do I give
That's
a
the
fuck?
thing. We're in our
at
20s in
60.
New York once.
Yeah.
You might as well just.
Am I gonna be spending money at fucking 60?
Yeah, I'm not
Probably
gonna
not.
be.
Yeah,
65.
Yeah,
I
on
had-
tables and.
And am I going to regret at that
age?
age of not having spent my money and having a good
Exactly.
time like we're having right
Exactly.
now? So now I'm much
Am I
more.
even gonna make it to that age? Like, you just,
And that I have so much more higher empathy about that side because
Yeah.
I'm like, these people tell you always do this, do that, do that. I'm like, no, there's not one right. Yeah, it might be the smart thing to do, quote unquote. But are they having fun?
But
They
that's
don't look like they're having
yeah,
fun.
it's whatever you prioritize, fun or
Yeah.
logic.
but this
Clearly, I prioritize fun.
this
did.
this is
Fun
this
or
is
that-
food for thought, right? So I became friends with this girl Amanda, and she was telling me that like a wedding costs like 40 to 60K, right? So it's like
I've recently learned this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just
Yeah,
learned
I
this.
was-
no, but
Like,
this
what?
is what's crazy to me, right? Is like I'm gonna have to pay for that, right? And there's no way I'm gonna pay for all of it up front. It'd be stupid, you know? So it's like you're gonna have to finance a wedding, you're gonna have to finance the engagement party, you're gonna have to finance the ring, right? So it's like you're sacrificing your youth years to go out, have fun, and like live your life and be your own person just to save money to dump it on all that shit when you're gonna still end up financing. So it's like I feel like I'm gonna have the same outcome, but I'll at least be content with the experiences I had. You know what I mean?
That's a great way to put it, honestly.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. And my future wife, I'll drop a bag on you. The wedding's gonna be great, but
It's crazy how much I get that now, especially being here.
Yeah.
And before, talk to me 4 years ago, I'd be like, no, you gotta save, you gotta think about long term,
Yeah.
you gotta do all the right
Yeah.
things, you know.
and it's going to the same exact thing that everybody's saving for. So it's
Yeah.
like if you're gonna do a loan regardless, you know, enjoy yourself.
yeah, that's a good point. How does your savings structure work? Like, how much
So-
do you want to put in savings and then invest? When you get
So
paychecks?
pretty much had a big come up in crypto. I haven't put in any personal money into savings. I kind of just
Sick.
cipher all of my crypto money into stocks and stuff, so it doesn't come out of pocket for me. In terms of
Oh,
that,
dope. So you're reinvesting the gains you made from crypto into the stock market.
yeah, everything
nice.
possible. Yeah,
Yeah.
primarily crypto though, because AMC and Robinhood really bent me over the wrong way. So.
You invested in the.
Yeah, man.
How much did you invest?
So I had this buddy from Amazon. He's like, yo, I just made 120K from GameStop. I wake up, I'm like a ape drooling. I'm like, me go invest. I put in $5,000, dude. Robinhood pulls everything. I got rug essentially by Robinhood and all the hedge funds. And then went into crypto and got introduced to NFT horse racing and breeding. Shout out to Mitch. Never loved horses more in my life, but
These digital horses, by the way.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what he's
yeah,
saying.
insane, man.
Zedrun. Zedrun, it was called, right?
Yeah.
Horse racing game. For
Yeah.
everyone else, and this is me how I interpret it. I was never in Zedrun, but you could literally watch these.
We did.
digital
We had
horses race.
viewing parties for some of our friends to watch these
Oh.
virtual horse races.
during parties. We
Yeah.
would play it on the
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, I did the same
and
thing.
people would come to our crib and be like, "What the fuck
What
is
are
it?"
you watching?
I'm
You're
like,
like,
you can
"Why is-
literally bet on these horses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can breed them.
And other people own them, and they're
Yeah.
NFTs.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Like this guy, he owns that.
that's
Yeah.
actually easier to explain. And from NFT
Yeah.
perspective, that was probably the easiest thing to explain. Like, that horse is NFT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
For-
owns
and,
it.
and that's what got me hooked into the technology. So like prior to that, NFTs, I was reselling clothes. I invested in a $3,000 bot. I'd have to buy proxies and be active on this
Oh,
bot
you
to buy.
built bots I remember, for drops and whatnot, too.
Yeah. And pretty much like every drop, I'm spending like 50 bills just to buy Yeezys, and every pair would make me like $40 to $100. So it's like, no, I
see.
didn't build one. I
Oh.
bought one. It
Oh.
ended
I
up
thought you
getting.
built one.
Yeah, it ended up getting stolen. So I lost
Oh.
$3,000. I hired this guy to track him down. They knocked on his door in Russia, but
What?
yeah, long fucking
What?
story. But because he's in Russia, I'm beat,
Wait,
and he
what?
just took my money.
Who'd you hire?
There's this guy on Twitter called Purchasable. I can't tell how valid he is, but based off of what you'll see online, he went to jail for hacking, and then he came out as this white knight hacker, and he would essentially track down scammers in the sneaker bot community and
Wow.
would
So specific.
he would
That
kind
is
of
so
blackmail
specific.
them. He would get personal information on them and kind of threaten them, like, if you don't send this back and do what I say, I'm going to show your parents to call the cops. So he would scare these people, and he pulled back like $300,000 for victims of scamming.
For the good of it? Like, was he expecting any money?
Nope.
This guy was just.
Not at all. Yeah, just for the good of it. And he was the one that tracked this guy down to Russia. And that's the thing is like, you hear Russia,
Back
I'm
to
like,
Russia.
I'm like, how legit is this guy. Like, there's no way he speaks every language, but apparently
Wow.
he had a group go to this guy's house, and I do respect that he wasn't physical. Knocked on their door, and husband, wife, and 2 kids answered. And they pretty much, like, that guy knew that he was invincible, but to my knowledge, they, like, approached him, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So
I was 21 at the time.
never got it back?
Yeah, lost it.
Did
As you were
anyone?
saying it, I was, like, picturing the story.
Yeah, me too.
Like it was a TikTok.
But
I was
I'm
like,
confused.
Yeah.
Never-
Why? There's a lot of confusing things about this.
Like, the thing is, so,
There's
like,
a ton of holes in this.
so, like, it's funny because I was in a situation recently where people in my NFT community get scammed $64,000. So I used that guy's methodology and essentially got back their $64K. But what his process is, right? So if you have a younger kid, you can kind of scare them and not blackmail them, but, like, put fear in their mind where they're going to do what's right and send it back. This guy was, settled down, had kids, a wife, and he knew that there's nothing we could do to scare him or ruin him. So he was just very defiant, denied that he took the money and everything, and just nothing happened out of it. But
my God.
traditionally, like, the scam that I had, there's 2 scammers in my, like, NFT community. They robbed the 64K. One was in Canada, one was in New Zealand, and I pretty much tracked them down, got their first and last name, their address, actually found the plot of land that they owned in New Zealand. Based off of that, got the phone number, found the mom's information, her
And
business.
don't mess with Steve Forrest.
And I literally called her on the phone.
About to fuck your son.
Yo, I mean, you got to add, like, up after that. Yo, it sounds like predatory. But yeah, I pretty much said that I'm about to fuck your son up. And if you don't return this money, then I'm literally going to call the cops because, my business, my
God.
LLC has its funding, and I would have pursued it. And
Oh, wow.
got
So
my
what did
shit
she
back.
say?
So it was a kid that stole your money.
The parents were normal parents. They're like, I am so just bugging out. And they knew that we had money because, like, I was with my boy Wing King. I'll just keep that as his identity. One of my good friends. He owns, like, mad Wingstops, mad Orange Theories.
Wing
And
King.
he's very ambitious. And
Like real ones or NFT?
no, real ones.
Okay,
He's
gotcha.
he's actually he's a big inspiration to me because he's I love to see people younger than me that are thriving more, and he was actually a victim. So it was like me and him were on the call with this kid's parents, and we're like, listen, we have f***ing money, we got lawyers on retainer. If you don't do what's right, we're coming and we're taking more. So pretty
You're
much.
taking the boy or you're taking the money?
No,
What'd you
definitely
say?
mine, not the boy. Not
I
the boy.
thought you said we're
Taking
taking
your
the
kid.
No, taking more.
more.
Yeah.
I gotcha. I was too invested and then I missed that part.
Yeah, so I ended up getting it back, but sorry.
Dude,
Wow.
you said like
First he said
30
Russia.
different things.
And
There's so much
then-
happening.
So I
there.
actually like had a vendetta. It was like I got scammed at 21, and I never wanted to feel like that again because 3K is a lot at that age. Where like,
Yeah. it's
so
a
then
lot.
it happened to my brother, right? So my brother got scammed. So like the whole crypto scam was the third one where like I knew what I was doing, but pretty much after I got scammed, I'll keep this one short. My brother pretty much sold this whole Xbox bundle on this website OfferUp. He sent it out there for $800. The kid took all of the gear and shit out, put in rocks and garbage, and sent it back. Reported to the company that my brother never sent anything. So he kept everything, and the company believed him. I went to the post office, pretty much tracked the package where it was going to, got his first and last name, found his LinkedIn. From his LinkedIn, I found out that he's a deaf tutor at this high school. Found out that he worked at Target, right? Called Target, got information on him. Called the school, got information on him. I made a Twitter account using his first and last name, and I published every proof I had of him scamming, his phone number, his location, his parents. So it's like anyone that Googles this kid's name is going to know that this guy's a scumbag.
Wow.
I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know who I'm calling, if this is going to work or whatnot, but I did everything I could to pin this kid in the corner. I get
You're
a,
literally as
Did
good
he return the
at-
money? Or did he
yeah,
transfer?
this is where it gets juicy.
Oh
I'm
I
sitting.
don't even know what.
I get a call, and it's like, it's this AI. It's like, you are being connected to this home for deaf people. There's going to be a translator on the line. I'm like, oh, fuck. Is the whole family f***ing deaf? So
Wait, but how can you translate
so
on the
they
phone?
they had a translator say that to me. So it turns out the mom, dad, and the kid are all deaf. This kid robbed my brother $800, and I had a translator tell the dad, I'm f***ing coming if he doesn't return
I'm
it.
coming.
Pretty much, he sent everything back.
Oh my
Any good parent's not going to want their kid to get pinned. But I like went through a translator and got my brother's money back. And then when my community got scammed, I was like, I know how to do this now.
Wow.
And then got everything back.
Like, why does my heart go out to that family just for like all being?
And why does this always happen to you?
Yeah,
It's
also-
happening
I'm just
so
like
many
the
times.
friend that knows how to find people. So it's like when like a good friend or family gets fucked, I just like get triggered and I find them.
So, girls out there, if you need to find something out about a boy, go to Steve. He's a better PI than most of us.
He's not your average full stack software engineer.
No.
This guy
Yeah.
will hunt you down.
I will find you.
Yeah. That's absolutely crazy. How much money do you think you'd made in the crypto space overall?
I
in the past
can.
year?
I'm an idiot, man. Before I even get involved, one big advice: if you ever make stupid money from an investment that you get excited that you tell your friends and family about, you pull that out. You do not leave that there. I learned that the hard way. I'd be on a yacht right now.
You got to talk numbers now. Now
Yeah.
I'm curious.
no.
Pretty much like shout out to Mitch because he got me involved. I converted 5 Ethereum from like my initial like 3 investments to 175 total.
175 ETH.
Yeah, and I never
shit.
pulled it out when it was at $3,000. I literally had
When
like
is that
almost
3K?
Remember when it
Yeah.
was at 46K?
Yep. I was like,
4600.
yo, 10K,
4600?
10K,
Was high.
10K.
Was high.
I was expecting 10K. Never
too.
pulled it out, and then it hit 900, and I feel my wiener go back in my body, and I know I'm an idiot. So, yeah. Pretty
So
much.
you held the entire time. So
Yeah.
you lost it in Ethereum, not in NFTs necessarily.
So I never essentially lost anything. I could have pulled out and profited at the max. Technically, I'm still up profit because ETH went down, but it's all profit. But pretty much like right now, it's probably worth like $250,000. It could have been like literally $500,000
It could've-
or
yeah,
I could have
more.
done something with
Yeah.
myself, you know.
I mean, technically, you didn't lose money if Ethereum
Yeah.
was
Exactly.
the basis point.
Also,
but if you compare Ethereum
it
to the
can
dollar,
still
you
go
lost
up.
Yeah, and I believe
Yeah.
in the tech, mad bullish. NFT is definitely the most disgusting name to identify the technology because nobody wants to hear non-fungible token, but the technology will live forever, and on my life, I swear on that.
One thing you mentioned, because you see videos of this all the time. It's like, maybe not all the time, but how, I know people working 2 jobs and they're
Oh,
making a ton of
yeah.
money and these companies don't know about it. You actually know someone that's also doing that, working
Yeah.
2 contract jobs.
Absolute unit.
Or no, 1 full-time job and 1
No,
contract
both
job.
contracting.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
And how much
So
are they
he has an
making?
address out of Miami, so he does like private benefits pretty much, pays for it, and he still makes a bag. He works 1 job at Bank of America, contracted. It's a little above 6 figures, and then his most recent job is like 300 plus, and
Oh
he's
my
just doing
God.
both.
He's doing both together?
Yep. His first job is automated. So, he may have to attend a scrum call every now and then, but aside from that, it's low maintenance where he's just bringing in a bag.
Is that why being a software engineer for banks is what you're saying is like, it's so chill?
So
you make a lot of money and you don't
yeah,
have to worry
but
about-
as an entry engineer, you're not going to have that knowledge and education to automate things.
got
So
it.
like, if you can do it, you got a nice, you know what I'm saying? But if you can't, it's very foolish to like try to get to.
yeah.
But, the whole difference between contracting and full-time is there's no benefits, no equity. You're paid by hour, no paid time off, but you can stack the careers. So that's exactly.
and you
what
usually
I'm
make
talking
more in contract.
about. Yeah, you get
because
more,
of not
just
the
less
benefits.
benefits.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you're under 26, then you could go on your
Yep,
parents'
exactly.
insurance. Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah.
all those engineers out there, highly recommend doing a remote financial tech job out of Manhattan. Do a contracting, make that bag, save that bag, and get ambitious about a side hobby and be smart with how you do it.
Where do you find these? He's like mentioned like at least 8 different people.
I
We got Wing
know.
King. We got this dude.
This
we got the
dude.
dude
I
from
just, like,
Russia.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kid
It's
from
just
New
like-
Zealand.
Yeah, where do they come from?
It's just all networking. A lot of them came from my like MetaMint NFT business. Aside from
Oh.
that, like Jesse, for example, the guy that I just was talking about, like he mentored me at Rutgers. He was like the one that like
Oh.
used to go to his crib. We used to like smoke a of Top Shelf, and then he's like, all right, now we got to learn data structures and algorithms. I'm like, oh fuck. But without him, I would not be where I am today. He actually was at my last job too. I got him contracted there for half a year.
That's not.
And he always just would guide me right. He would be straight up. He's like, I feel like you're undervalued here. This isn't for you. And then he went and abandoned ship, and now I'm in that situation. But so
you need people like that. Yeah.
I'll always be that friend that like local businesses, whatever. I'll always reach out. I'm like, I know you can do this because all it takes is that one person to believe in you. That's like, I can do this.
Yeah, I could relate to that because even my first job, I had no idea how much more I could personally make until someone else told me and showed me that you could actually make a lot more, and this is how.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know this was a career path.
Yeah.
Like right now, moving in towards like sales engineering and whatnot, where I'm at now.
That's what my buddy does, and that's cake.
Yeah, and I had no idea this career path existed coming out of college.
Yeah.
And that's like a big part of what we're trying to do to Eat My Assets here, is because like we're trying to level the financial playing field for all income levels. Like people come in to college, they think they know what they want to do. You get out of college, you realize, wow, this existed, that existed. They're making this much money.
Yep.
This person's not that much smarter than me.
You guys
You know what I mean?
essentially are like Glassdoor, but podcast.
Oh my God,
based.
we're glass. I mean, we shouldn't say we're Glassdoor, but
Yeah, shit.
I'm gonna try to
All right,
I'm gonna low key about to compete with them in the future.
But
in
like,
different ways.
It's cool
actually,
because
though,
like
you're right.
Different
it's
ways.
cool
Yeah,
because
we're
it's
coming
like
for you.
people can visualize and actually hear the validity behind my salary and how the process went. Where on Glassdoor, it could be this kid that like his toilet paper ripped on the interview, so he's gonna write the shit review and completely throw off everything. Sorry, random terrible.
Great
example.
analogy.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Like almost kind of personal sounding.
What was for you in your past and growing up? What was the financial situation like, and what did your parents stress growing up for you?
My parents were definitely a little above middle class. They got my house at like $200,000. It was like the first house in development. It's now like worth about 6 to 8 post COVID. So like growing up, people used to see my house and thought that it was like that, or the traditional white privilege. Like your parents always had money, but it was never like that. They actually made me buy my first car. I'd say the only generosity that they had is like if I went to the mall with some friends on a Friday, my dad would give me $20. But aside from that, it was like they wanted me to become self-made. They never really, supported me unless I needed it. They would be there, but the whole time it was like you got to earn your shit.
Like you had the support system, but they wanted you to do it yourself.
Yeah, it was like worst case scenario, we'll pay your rent. But I didn't know that as a kid this whole time. Like it's on me. So kind of made me into the person where I just wanted to be independent. And it was like at 21, I was like, listen, I'm moving out. You guys never have to pay for me ever again. And it's like, if you guys need anything, I'll be there. So it was like, it's that point of maturing where it's like, it feels good because you can take care of them,
Yeah. Were you in student debt coming out of college or no?
Oh, that's a great question too. I was, have this uncle who is actually the one that referred me to Amazon. Yes, it's nepotism. I don't want to hear it. But I 100% skilled all 3 rounds of the coding interview on Amazon. Didn't cheat, so I earned it. But pretty much,
I'm indifferent about nepotism. I know people make it up to be a big deal, but I'm like, if you have people that work so hard around
I'm
you,
indifferent
you
as
get
well.
in there.
like, are you gonna tell someone like
Also,
your family?
Yeah.
is
If someone
working so
also
hard?
worked so hard and like you just happen to be in a position to get a chance, use the chance.
Exactly.
It's an opportunity.
Take it.
Exactly.
Take the
This
chance.
is not related, but it's like with people with when it comes with feeling bad for me that they feel like I'm oppressed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't feel that way at all.
Exactly. Like
You feel really bad about you being white, not you, but like some people that I talk to.
it's like
They feel really bad about being white, and I'm like, listen, I don't want you to feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
Same with nepotism.
Like
I
you
don't-
didn't choose. No one chose
didn't
anything.
choose,
Just
yeah.
make
You know what I
decisions
mean?
now.
So that's why for nepotism, for me, it's like the same thing. It's like you didn't choose to be in a fortunate position, so you're just not going to take advantage of it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless you're Haley
Right, I
Bieber.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in nepotism and I earned it. But in regards to my student student loans, I was very grateful. So my uncle, so pretty much this is one way my parents contributed is they paid for half my college, I believe. And I think my grandma and my other grandma contributed. So I was only in debt for half my college. And my uncle essentially paid it off right when I graduated. And then whatever my rate was there, so it didn't keep going up, I just paid him. So I was very grateful because interest
really
didn't
cool.
accrue, and I just paid him
So you basically you're able to pay for your student loan interest free.
interest free through my uncle.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
very
How
good.
much were you in debt at the time coming out?
I think Rutgers was like $26K a year. I was there for 3 years, so about like $52K.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good amount.
Lucked out, man. Very grateful.
And now that stemming now to where you're at right now and being unemployed and still having the confidence.
Why would I ask the question?
Go
actually?
Severance.
to spend how much you're spending because you're clearly dipping in the reserves now. But
No, I haven't touched my savings because
Oh, you
I have
haven't?
the severance till the end of March.
So he's basically getting paid until his salary.
So you're not in freak out mode at all right now.
I'm
No.
chilling.
He's
It's
on
paid time
vacation.
off.
Not
Yeah.
until like 2 weeks
It's
from
fun
now.
employment. Yeah.
All I'm saying too, if you ever accept an offer, you negotiate for like 2 to 3 months severance because this
You
shit
can
is.
negotiate that pre.
I don't know, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. It's
And
like
when I get laid off,
Yeah.
put 6.
When I
no,
did-
it's a bad mentality, right? But my mom was telling me that
Shit.
3 months severance is average. One of my good friends just got laid off and got 3 months.
I
That's
heard
a quarter year you're
Google
making.
or
your-
no, Facebook or Google gave 6 months.
It might have been Google.
Yeah, it's
Might have
pop,
been Google.
and that's what I'm saying. Is like 1 6-month vacation, 2 get another job, and you're literally doubling your salary.
Yeah.
But
for that time
you
period.
can negotiate that in your contract.
I don't know if
I don't
you can
s-
do that.
I don't see.
That'd be
No, but
hilarious.
that's
Should I
the
look it up?
that's the thing though is you can
Yeah, look
negotiate.
it up. I
You
actually
can
don't know.
negotiate your paid time off. You can negotiate stock options, your base. Why can't you negotiate?
Well, like the
severance?
startups I work for, it's like unlimited time off. In reality,
Yeah,
they want you taking certain.
but it's
Yeah.
like if they want you bad, you do whatever the fuck you want.
It says you can always try to negotiate a severance package.
Well, yeah, personally,
hilarious.
I want
Investopedia.
personally for my next job, 2 months severance compared to 1 month is gonna be a big deciding factor.
Well,
Because like 1
I
month
wouldn't
is stressful.
know if so. The people I interview now, if they asked me that, I don't even know how I'd feel. If they told me like, so let's talk about severance. I want to be able to like have a 3-month severance in the event like your company lets people go. I'd be like, like I don't.
But now here's the flip scenarios. 1, you have to respond confidently that we're never going to do layoffs.
Yeah.
And then 2, you got to kind of inquire why they want that, right? If they're like, oh, just in case things go south, they're a ball bag. If they're like, I've been through this before and it takes me about 3 to 4 weeks to get a job, then it's very understanding that they need an
that's
extra month.
true.
Maybe for a startup, it works especially because you're like, I'm taking a risk because you're in
Exactly.
seed funding, you're in
Yeah.
Series A.
Yeah.
So maybe that.
and you never know what could happen in an industry like in
Yeah,
tech right
exactly.
now.
Yeah.
And worst case, they say no. Best case, they say yes. You get laid off and you get a fucking quarter year of salary.
So I guess it's all framing. You got to come in there and be like, listen,
That's
I'm doing
true.
this because I'm coming in hot, and in the event our company doesn't work out, I want to take some a breather because I'm burnt out
Exactly.
from all the
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But so, what gives you the confidence though of knowing? Because the fact that you're not even that worried about it, and you have some jobs lined up already, like what gives you the confidence? How'd you do it?
So initially, I got hit with a blind side. I was very upset and I just felt used, right? But right after that, pretty much signed up to LinkedIn Premium, started banging out the job apps again. And so the first week, I'm not spending shit. I'm eating fucking ramen, right? But then
You're
after
like,
that,
I gotta keep everything
That's
close.
the real deal.
it's actually kind of crazy. And my friends pointed this out to me too. So within 1 week, I got a contracting offer at Bank of America for $180K. So it was like once I knew I still had it,
You're like,
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was like once I got that offer, I was like, okay, I have the cushion. It's like if I don't get a job in the next month, I still have this, which is tolerable. It'll pay the bills. I'll be miserable. It's there.
Yeah.
So
I came up with an analogy.
I want to hear this.
It's like when you are in a shit relationship and then you get out of it, but then you go back out to a bar and you flirt it up. You have Riz and you're picking up all these people and I still got it. And then
Yeah,
you come
exactly.
That
Yeah.
sounds very personal.
That
back. It might have just happened.
Like that's not just any analogy.
But that's how it when you were saying
cheat on you.
No, but it's like you were stressed because you got out of something that you were comfortable in, and then you were like, I gotta keep it close, whatever. And now you're like, oh, you got an offer.
Yep.
That was
I'm
mad
back.
accurate. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
a great
analogy.
It was.
Like the
Great
Riz
analogy.
is still there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's still
You're
there. You
risen.
still got the Riz.
But you wanna.
Instead of massaging a partner, you're massaging a f***ing bank, but it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there.
You want the bank? You know what I mean?
You gotta let them know.
You want to need the bank. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. So you got the basically what you're saying, if I'm hearing this correctly. because once you got back out there doing interviews and you got immediate feedback, like positive feedback, you realize it again, like you're a dog. Like,
yeah, because it's like,
you didn't-
worst case scenario, you got a job. Best case scenario, you're going to find a job that you're excited for that has that company culture that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So it was Tuesday. I interviewed at this Web3 startup. I absolutely love the team. They're very Web3 oriented, open office. I go on, they're playing Smash on the Switch. I'm like fucking twitching a little bit. And it's like, I was just so happy that I didn't rush into the first offer I got. I was like experimenting.
Yeah.
And then today I'm on my high horse. I'm like, yo, I'm not working at a bank ever again. So, that was like a little high itself. But it's ultimately about like staying focused. It's very easy. I forget what it's called. It's like the law of gravitation or whatever with thoughts, where it's like, if you think negative thoughts and you have a negative mindset, all you're going to do is pollute your mind with negative thoughts. So like something I've been working on the past year is like always
Law of
see the upside.
attraction?
Yes, that's it. Law of
Yeah.
attraction.
I was thinking gravitation in my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
gravitation.
All right, sorry.
Attraction. That's
So-
just what I preach to Mike all the time.
Sound like my parents. Yeah, they can't say their names right.
All right, yeah, let me restart that. So something I've been focusing on is the law of attraction. You can't really be upset about the past. It's always eyes forward. That's a big quote from your brother, but it's like, you can't change the past. There's always retrospect. You could have done this, but you got to really work on maintaining a positive mentality, keep the positive thoughts going, and you really can't take rejection personally.
Which
It's
is
just
easier said than done, but it is the truth.
it is, but
it
it's
is
like
very
true.
true. When you
Yeah.
do think like that, and when you put out that energy,
yeah.
it-
You
things
just bury
turn
yourself.
around.
There have
It
been
just-
points in my life where I've talked really bad of myself to this day where I look back years later and I'm like, I can't believe I f***ing talked to myself
Exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
It's sad, man.
exactly.
It's
And
a
it filled a
journey.
hole in my, like, I still feel that void of
Exactly.
myself talking to myself like that, which is crazy.
When you flip the switch, it's honestly like you then start attracting good things because your mentality is, I am
Exactly. Yep.
great. And like I'm attracting all these great things and you're happier. And it's like
Yeah.
really a mindset thing. And it's so easy if you let
Yeah.
Yeah,
yourself do
and
it.
it's also important too. It's like if you can't get out of that negative mindset, that's when you have to just like a therapist, for example, you got to go to someone that will get you out of that. Just like pull you out of that negative mentality, make you realize like you're just in your head, and they'll help you go down that road and like. No.
Yeah, sometimes you need a little push because I was there
Yeah.
too. I needed a
Definitely.
little
We've all
push
been there. I've came
from-
to you before. I know
Yeah.
it, and
Your friends are a great push support
yeah,
system.
hopefully.
For that. Yeah,
and if
hopefully.
not,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
ain't your friends.
Yeah, if not, then fuck them.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say that.
You
and I
whispered
did.
it, but you like put the
I
mic closer.
But fuck up. If someone just lost their job right now, as someone that's now had success to find a new job right away, what would you do? Ground zero, like someone
Ground
just lost their job.
zero, one. Do you have more than a month of severance? Yes, you're fucking chilling. Do not stress. Bang out applications. No, stress is valid. Same process, but
Stress is valid.
pretty much there's no days off until you get that first offer where you get that cushion.
I
You gotta
agree a
grind.
I
lot.
love that.
Gotta
If it's
grind.
less than a month,
My first job, the Bank of America one, it took me 126 applications, and then one of them hit, and I made 138K. So do not get demoralized. It's very easy, just like the law of attraction. You send out, let's say, 20 applications. You don't hear back. You start getting in your head that, like, maybe I'm not him, maybe I can't do this. But it's not that. It's realistically shit HR. You don't match their standards, or, they're just done hiring and they're already filled the spot.
I appreciate you talking about that. I know it's a lot. It's kind of hard to talk about that, especially in the position where you're not.
I'm still not hired.
Yeah. But I think it's
Yeah.
super important for anyone else nonetheless.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like grateful to be here. Is like people. I noticed like I met it was crazy. I met two other people the same day. I went out that night. I met two other people who got laid off the same day, and it's like
Wow.
there's this stigma that people are embarrassed to share that they got laid off, right? But on the flip side, right, you got your fucking severance. If you go back to an employee that's going in office full time 5 days a week, who's really fucking
I'm not
winning?
gonna lie. I was just having the conversation about layoffs the other day because I was like, that sounds like a dream. Like, if you're my employer, I don't mean it, but like, it sounds like a dream.
If you're listening.
Sounds like a dream because you don't have to do shit for. You could do your own thing for like 3 months.
Yeah.
You
or
could,
stack two jobs. That's the
or yeah, you could like do all this side stuff.
crazy.
Go to the gym whenever you want. Cook your food whenever you want. Live your life. have an income. Like
It depends on the severance, though. Sometimes
Yeah,
they
no,
don't get,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if it's
your
less
company
than a
would
month,
probably give good
No.
severance.
Also, a little
I
bonus.
would assume, maybe.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
A little bonus too is I even signed up for unemployment. I have yet to let that shit hit, but technically, from getting laid off, including unemployment, I'm making more than I actually was.
Wow.
So I believe you get half a paycheck. So it's on top of my severance. I'm also getting half
I
of
didn't even
that
think that was
until
an
I get a
option.
job. So it's like, so if you think about it, like now I'm in this situation where it's like, how long can I work a job and collect unemployment, which is like really terrible.
Yeah.
But I gotta like look into like, you know, how
Yeah.
long that works. But you end up making more than you initially were while full time.
Rods, if you want to lighten up the mood here a little bit.
So, our favorite question lately has been asking people what their financial fetish is.
Can you elaborate
Yeah,
on that? Like, is
yeah,
that like
yeah.
is it more like
I mean, if that's your financial fetish, that's your financial fetish. But why do I always do
Fetish.
that? I know.
Yeah, I heard
I
it too.
did it.
I didn't want to call it
said
out.
I said chart like chart. I'll just explain what it is. Something that you do with your money that maybe other people don't do, but gives you pleasure.
Okay, so that
was
that
good.
would
Yeah,
That was good.
thanks.
Yeah.
I was looking at you because I change it every time.
I didn't think there's anything else to add, honestly.
Okay.
That's
So
great.
my financial fetish is essentially taking care of friends and family that believe in me, motivate me, and I know will be there even at my worst, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I have friends like that know I got laid off. Some don't give a fuck and some check up on me, and I will always take note of the ones that check up on me. Anytime we go out when I'm chilling, stable financially, I got you, you know? And like that's something that makes me feel good. I don't do it for the flex. I don't do it for the ego, but it's essentially just a form of reciprocation because it's like knowing that your friends believe in you is enough to keep you going. So I would say that's one of my fetishes, and then the other one is the other one's buying streetwear, which is fucking a terrible decision.
No, it's not. It's
No, it
sick.
is because like my wardrobe or whatever you call them, mail closets, is like a third of my savings, and it's just like ridiculous. at this point.
Savings.
I think
Seriously,
that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
It
Young in
is.
your 20s.
It is, but it's like I could have a crib, you know. So
yeah,
it's
but
like
like,
now
what do you want
How,
more?
you got
like,
that much money?
crib.
in clothes?
oh, well
You
then,
spend
well
that
then,
much in clothes? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Oh,
I'd say
God.
like definitely like
But
my
you
clothes are like
know,
20K.
when
right
you
now.
eventually
Ooh.
have a crib, you'll also
crazy.
have sick closet.
I like that. You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a good way to look
Fuck
at
a
it.
Yeah.
house. Buy
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah,
You know, how's lose money nowadays? You know what I mean?
exactly.
But yeah, and in my defense, right, like the shoes that I buy, I get at an early price where I can wear them, and then even if I sold them, I make still like a couple hundred.
I hear you there. That makes a ton of sense. I appreciate you coming on the show, by the way. That's a
Yeah.
lot to come here and talk about.
No, it's nice
Your
because you know I
finances.
got laid off, so I don't have to worry about people knowing my shit. And I came on here to kind of help engineers watching this realize like there's a path that people don't know about. You go the consulting route with an engineer, you get 6 figures, you're under your parents' benefits, and this is the beauty behind it that people don't know about. So if you're working remote and you have an account that handles your tax write-offs, which I don't expect a 21-year-old to have, but around our age, it's definitely worth considering. If you're remote, you can have your accountant write off in tax dollars your office space of your apartment. So like, for example, if you're working here full time, you can measure the square footage, figure out, what the amount is per square foot, and use a tax write-off to pay for this room, essentially.
If you're doing contracted work, you're saying?
No, anything.
So my
I'm sorry.
full-time
I'm
job right now, I
sorry. You
do
can
that?
write that off, yeah.
What?
Yep.
I didn't know.
I
that.
actually genuinely did not know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you use
I thought that's if
pretext-
you own a business. I didn't know if you're getting a W-2.
Yeah, no, it is. Because
Wow.
this is
Wow.
your home office, and you don't have a divider here, so it's like I would milk the fuck out of the wall.
We gotta double check and look
let's
that up
do that
because
after.
if that's true,
No, I'm 100%.
Then we're putting that
confident.
out there.
yeah, that's
I'll even put you on
crazy.
my account. It's like an actual thing.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, and like what I was considering doing is moving my desktop setup into my living room, so my kitchen and living room are connected, where I have more square footage there. So it's like if I move my setup there and I get to write off the bigger space, then it's like my rent is like cheaper.
That's why I'm having such a hard time believing it. I trust you. I'm just
Yeah.
having a hard time believing it because that would essentially mean that I could get taxed back on the rent I'm paying.
No, you can.
And if you
for a
live,
job that I work
Yeah.
for, not a job that
Yep.
I own.
No, you can.
and like, what if you
Which
live
is
in a
crazy.
studio, like an 800 square foot studio
Best
with no
case scenario.
dividers? Can I
That-
write the
That's
whole?
your
yeah.
working space.
But what? So what
So,
would
like-
be the limitations from a tax perspective if you're remote? Like there would have to be defined somewhere that you're remote.
Yeah, so like being hybrid is questionable. I don't know how it works, right? But like, for example, if you're working hybrid, let's say Monday, Wednesday, or remote Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you still may be able to do a tax write-off on your income from those 3 days aggregated.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but
I gotta look this up after
well,
this.
we're
'cause
gonna look.
dude,
at
I
that's the
heard
case,
this.
That's
I heard
crazy.
this and I'm like, there's no fucking way.
I've
But
literally
it's, like,
never
literally
heard,
a
I've
thing.
never heard anything about
It's
that before.
because it's like, you're investing that money into where you're going to do your job, right? And because you're doing your job in this room, you're getting that income from doing it here. So it makes complete sense to like have part of that be contributed to your taxes because you can't work without this space.
From a business standpoint, 100%. But me, like from an employer, that's the specific section that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like versus me owning a business.
Wow.
But that's crazy. You learn
Yeah.
something new every
And
day.
if you own a business and let's say you mark this place as your business, whatever room your business is ran out of, it's the same thing. Same with your
Yeah.
LLC.
That
You're
goes-
making money from your LLC. You could do write-offs on the office space.
Yeah, that goes without saying. This isn't financial advice. So everything you take in here, do your own research as well.
Yeah.
Well,
DIY.
I mean, financial advice on do write-offs on your remote office space, not financial advice on milking your whole fucking apartment because they will look at that.
That's true.
But with that, Steve the Fourth, appreciate you hopping on. For everyone else, always tune in every other Wednesday for new episodes. And Rons, if you want to kick us,
Yeah. So next is lucky number 14 for me personally because it's Troy Bolton's number in High School Musical.
Oh, God. I was expecting something so much cooler.
yeah, I do like High School Musical. That's Troy Bolton is the boy.